See, this is how you got where you are today, is by lying to people and telling people what they want to hear.
Of course, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being
You're
fake.
beautiful, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind.
Love your outfit.
Hey guys, before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Scentbird. Scentbird is a new way to discover, shop, and experience fragrances. And it's especially good for me because as a drag artist and human being, on top of looking good, you should also smell good. I personally genuinely hate shopping for perfumes and colognes. I feel like there's way too many options, all of them are too expensive. And sometimes whenever you try something in the store, it seems good, but whenever you get home and use it for a little bit, you realize that you don't really love it. But each month, Scentbird sends you a 30-day supply of a designer fragrance of your choice so that you can try it before committing to an entire bottle. And their site has detailed descriptions of each fragrance, as well as reviews from other people who have used it so that there aren't any surprises. They have indie labels like Skylar, Heretic, and Confessions of a Rebel, and they have name brand fragrances like Prada, Gucci, and Versace. And it's only $17 a month. So a fragrance that would cost upwards of like $500 for a bottle, you can try for 1 month for $17. This month, I received 3 different fragrances to try. The first was Ula Rouge by Christian Siriano. This one had a lighter but sweet, like flowery smell, almost like a woodsy fall smell with like the amber wood. Next was Pistachio by DS and Durga. And the name is correct, it definitely smells like pistachio, but in a good way, in a good way. It was a little sweet, but it still had a little bit of musk to it. It's definitely one I could see myself using in like my day-to-day. And then there was Midnight in Milan by Glass House. This one was really sweet, but it was still light and had like a really like rosy smell to it. Very much a summer scent. I think it'd be a good like daytime fragrance. And you could find your new favorite too, and at a discount. Because if you use my code Maddy55 at checkout, you can get up to 55% off your first order. That's just a little over $7 for your first month. Available in the US and Canada. Links in the description. Sawadee Kad, welcome back to Give It To Me Straight. I am Maddy Morphosis, and on the show today we have the international superstar, all the way from Drag Race Thailand and UK versus the world, Miss Pangina Heel.
Hi, darling. So happy to be here.
Welcome. Happy to be here and happy to be in Vegas. I know you picked the absolute worst time of year because it's so hot right now.
It's like living in a microwave, or like not if, but when I go to hell, I'm gonna be like, it's not even that hot. I've been in Vegas before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a nice breeze.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What are the summers like in Thailand? Is it like humid or is it like...
In Thailand, it's humid all year round. So whenever you have curls, it's always done. Like you can't even have curls in Thailand. It doesn't exist. And you want to paint your face on the top of your head so that it melts down to this situation, this area right here in 3 hours. So that's how it is.
Yeah, you have to paint high so it just falls into place.
Yeah.
It's like getting a nose job. It just kind of like, you gotta wait a little bit for it to drop. You know?
Yeah. What's a nose job?
It's you wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't know what it is.
It's not for you. But yeah, you are in Vegas right now, and I feel like it's almost like fate because you actually were sent home on UK versus the world dressed as a slot machine, and now you're here performing in a Vegas casino. Do you feel like the stars are aligning for you right now?
I do. I think it just makes sense. Hi, Jimbo. I think it just all makes sense. You know, I had a winner thing on the top of my head, and now I am in Vegas, you know, trying to stay away from my gambling habits, and I am just really excited to be able to do Drag Race Live. Like that's a dream of mine. I've always wanted to be like a Vegas showgirl since I was little. I've been here, like I think the last happy memories of my family was when we did a tour, like a family trip together, and it was in Vegas.
Have you been like meeting people? Have you been like on the apps and stuff?
I've been on every single app. None is working. So I've been on Tinder. I think I'm a Tinderella. I honestly swiped so hard that it says there is no one around you the second day in. There's nobody around me.
You ran out of options in Vegas.
And you know what? Usually, okay, this is my rule. I usually do like a 5-mile thing because I don't want to like drive that far for or vice versa, right? Like, let's keep it short, like 10 minutes drive. Now I'm at a 100-mile gauge.
You're on the strip. Why are you having so much trouble?
I don't know. You need to, somebody needs to tell me how to actually know how to hook better because apparently it's not working for me. And like the first 2 conversations I've had on Tinder, the person was like, hi, are you new? I'm like, yes, I'm new to town. And it was like, are you an immigrant? And I was like, is that an okay thing to ask?
It's not.
Like 2 people asked me that, are you an immigrant? And I was like, kind of, but I thought we're in an age of PC, and I don't think that's allowed.
I think some people are in an age of PC, but I think on Tinder in Vegas, it's just people from all walks of life.
Sure.
Just on the apps and stuff.
Sure.
I just love the fact that you were on the world's most popular dating app in the middle of Vegas on the strip, but you can't find love.
No. I mean, in Thailand, I feel like there's a lot more people in a highly concentrated area for some reason, but Tinder is not working currently. I've got bans from Tinder like 2 times already for impersonation.
Oh, impersonating
Me.
Oh, okay. Well, are you famous enough to get flagged like that?
No, I think maybe it's just people just literally complain because I'm just like, hi, how are you? Want to and so maybe they're just complaining.
Maybe they
and
think
just
you're
reporting.
impersonating like someone actually famous.
Yeah, like Manila Luzon.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, c'est la vie, such is life.
Sadness. But I don't know. I'm just keeping my hopes up. But apparently, everyone says to try Hinge. I don't know if Hinge works. I've heard about Hinge.
What if like you found out that like the whole time you're just swiping the wrong direction on Tinder? Like you think you're like trying to match people, but you're actually saying no to everyone?
Do I look that dumb? I don't answer that. But seriously, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I've been swiping in my sleep.
Well, maybe it sounds. I mean, from your description, it sounds like it's going hard. So I'm just asking. I'm trying to help you get to the bottom of this.
The bottom being the operative word right now. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Is you're not getting to the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll get to the top or the bottom. I don't care. I'm not picky. Beggars don't choose.
Yeah, you'll take whatever you can get.
I can't. I will. I just need human interaction at this point. Warmth. Yeah. Good for my digestion.
So your drag name actually comes from partially your own government name and Angina, right?
Yes. You did your research. Wow.
A little bit, yeah.
A little Google, Wikipedia.
We're just getting started, yeah.
It's true. My name was inspired by Angina. I was really like, when you're like a person of color, you want to look for representation in whatever you're watching, especially like in the mainstream media. And when I was, oh shit, my wig popped. Pick up, cop, we need more glue.
Oh, yeah, we can pause for a second. Let's cut it.
I mean, we can film. I don't mind. I like the real. I thought, I know your show is highly produced, but is it okay? We have a...
Yeah, you got a blowout. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's a no. So we'll just wait for this. Your face, you're like, bitch, just glue your wig down.
This is that Drag Race Thailand host money. You got your own artist in here in the room.
Where was I? Oh, Angina. So now I'm just gonna look like a Mariah Carey for a second.
Yeah.
Angina. So basically, I looked at her, I watched her, and she was so like, she was a fashion queen, back then. And I just really love what she did. I do love her. She's like one of my idols, And so when I meet her, it was such a full circle moment of like, when you work hard, when you meet someone who is your idol, one day they become your colleagues. And she's just so nice and so lovely with such a horrible mouth. And so I was inspired by that, but also Pangina, it's like the world used to be a continent like Pangea. And so...
And you used to be like fat, so that like ties in.
Wow, thanks.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that where you're going with this?
I was going to go with overweight because it's better that way. I wouldn't say fat. I mean,
you were plus size.
Bodacious. Is that a word? Bodacious?
Bodacious? That's a word.
Okay, we'll go with bodacious.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what words really mean, but I was overweight for sure. And why are we talking about my overweightness?
Oh, you said because everything like Pangea, like things.
Oh yeah, before you interrupted my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, the world would be so much nicer if we all just was one without the different separations, and that's what drag and dancing does for me. Yeah.
I love that you say that like drag is about like healing and being kind, but you're also like known for insulting people at shows.
When?
So,
whom? Never.
In the past, what?
I don't know what you're talking about. Roll the clips.
I didn't realize we're in a rebrand right now.
I don't think so. I think it comes from a place of love. If you can take it, then you can improve. But if not, then just stay at home and just brush your teeth. I don't know. I honestly feel like you don't get anywhere in the world with just praise. You need constructive criticisms.
Were you criticized a lot as a child? Is that carrying over?
Are we going into my traumatic childhood right now? Are we talking about that?
Not? We can.
Sure. Well, at the age of 7, when I came home, I was just a kid. No, I don't think it has anything to do. I mean, I was bullied a lot. I'm sure a lot of us were.
But not by like parents, just like by kids.
Bullying by parents, isn't that just like an Asian person's childhood?
I wouldn't know.
I mean,
Is it?
really?
Maybe.
Um,
I'm from Arkansas. I'm not that cultured. So
Yeah.
you tell me. I'm learning right now.
I think most Asian parents are harder on their kids because they basically what they failed at in life, they want their child to be able to do that. It's kind of, imagine dance moms, but like with a stick.
Okay.
So it's similar.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not just a stick. My mom used to hit me with so many different types of like musical instruments, whatever she can get her hands on. I'm sure a lot of people can relate, and there'll be like lots of fun comments underneath this of what you've been hit with. Like a bamboo stick is a popular
let us
one.
know if you're a child of Asian parents, let us know in the comments what your parents beat you with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even at school as well, until it became like frowned upon. But I remember like half of my life at school, it was normal to get hit. You can get hit by having long fingernails. You can get hit by your hair is not combed. You can get hit by anything.
I like how like I was asking like, were you abused by your parents? And you're like, no. And then you went into like, well, they did beat me with inanimate objects.
Yeah, but it was funny at the time.
Oh, was it?
No, but it's funny now.
The therapy's working.
Yeah, well, it worked. I turned out to be an okay human being, I guess. And I mean, I'm not giving any parenting advice. But, and that's why I'm never procreating.
Thank God. But like, but your last name Heels. Like, what was going through your life at that time where that name meant a lot to you?
I think I was finding myself as a dancer as well. You know, I've been told a lot that I have a face. Like my face is too which is lovely to hear. And I was like, but this is my face. I don't know how to change it. But when I'm dancing, I'm so happy. And I guess a part of me is coming out. And so people would be like, you gotta change your face into something more masculine. And then I was discovering waacking as well. And I thought that really healed me because it's a dance from the 70s, it's a gay dance, you know, and I was just being healed from all that disco music and all the encouragement of when you dance, the part of you on the inside just comes out. And I thought that was the most beautiful thing, and that's what drag does as well. So it aligned with my waacking journey as a dancer and with drag as well. And I felt like this is a journey that continually heals me, and just sometimes like I can go through like the most horrible breakup or whatever, but when I'm on stage, I don't remember any of that. It becomes a fantasy where you're just connecting with the audience, and at that moment, nothing else matters. Kind of like meditation, but with a lot more makeup.
Yeah. And aggressive arm movements.
And aggressive arm movements and, you know, death drops.
Yeah. Quotation marks.
I don't use that word.
But for a lot of people that don't know, waacking is a dance style, not something else.
No,
but
it can be.
Well, not for you, because you don't get any.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as like waacking, a lot of people don't know waacking is a dance move. Whenever I saw you perform, I thought you were doing kind of like an offshoot of Vogue. It turns out it's the other way around. Vogue is kind of more of an offshoot of waacking, because waacking came before like the disco era.
Damn.
What got you into like waacking though specifically? Because it's such like a niche genre of like dance.
It is so niche. I mean, even though it originated, both of these dances originated from America, like a lot of Americans are not sure what's the difference as well. And a lot of people still don't. But, you know, I was drawn to waacking primarily from my teacher, Princess Lockaroo, who was on So You Think You Can Dance. And the first time I saw her, I thought she was a drag queen, because she's always wearing sequins and has big hair. And it's just like, yes! You know, just that presence. And I was like, I like what she's doing. She looks happy and she's hitting the floor with her coochie all the time. I want to hit the floor with my coochie.
Why not?
I know. It's a good day. It was a full circle moment, because originally the whackers were watching drag queens lip sync and putting that into their body.
So you were doing like waacking before you started doing drag. At what point did you decide to like mix the two? Because you started performing in 2011-ish or so?
Yes, I did. I was in a nightclub, and then one of the drag queens didn't show up, and I was like, I know most of the words to any song, if I've given the time. And so I was like, I have dance background, people like dance, can I just mix them together and fool them for a bit? And the first time after I performed, I was like, this is magical. It's kind of electrical. I'm a star. I'm a fucking star. And you just feel like with all that delusion wrapped up in like the infusion of alcohol inside of you and that lack of love you've never had from your parents, I just felt like I belonged.
You found your family.
I found my.
You had your Disney movie indie.
I did without a prince, but still, it was lovely. Like it was just something I felt like, wow, it's a high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure you get that.
Maybe not to that level. I'm just like, oh, this is fun. Free drinks.
Damn, bitch.
I didn't transcend like you did.
Wow,
Way
to make my story.
Everyone has like different experiences and reasons for doing it.
That's valid.
Yours is valid. A little extreme, a little bit much, but you know, it's valid.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, it is for me, so
it is for you. It is. But with like Thai culture, like a lot of people think of Thailand as being this like ultra progressive, like one of the first places to like decriminalize homosexuality. But in reality, like a lot of places still are very conservative in Thailand. A lot of the mindsets. So what was it like growing up as like a queer child in Thailand?
Growing up as a queer child in Thailand was weird because I went from like a government school and then I went to an international school. My parents, like my mom is not Thai. So I've always felt like out of place in terms of I was always the most westernized kid in Asia. And when I'm in America, I'm always the most Asian one. There's two things, you know, with the acceptance from society, but with self-acceptance as well. Like I went through a huge journey of not knowing, not loving myself, and you know, going through being overweight as well, mixed with years of just certain illegal substances and coming out of that. It took a while to find a way to love Pangina again, but then one thing that has always kept me was like, I remembered canceling one gig because I was like, out of it. We'll just call it out of it. And I just remembered like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to have a career and, you know, to fulfill my dreams if I continue this. By the way, like whatever people choose to do in their lives, if it's not destructive or you're okay with it, that's you. But for me, certain things wasn't good for me. And so I had to cut not just what I was doing, but like the people around me as well. It's like a cleanse, it's like a douche. I douched my life.
Like some people, they need a good douche, whether it be physically, spiritually, emotionally.
A spiritual douche.
Spiritual douche.
That's a good one.
It's a good drag name.
Yeah.
I think she's on Dragula.
Oh!
But as you said, like growing up, like you were like a little bit heavier set as a kid.
Bodacious, go on.
Bodacious, yeah. At what point did you decide that you were going to make that change though, like physically?
Oh,
because
come on.
I feel like you're known now. A lot of people, whenever you were cast, like they know you as a boy. They're like, wow, she's so fit, so handsome.
Where are
like,
these people at?
Not on Tinder, but you know.
Bitch, it only lasts 1 year. Once you're on Drag Race and everyone wants to sleep with you. Can I say that?
Yeah.
So most of the girls tell me like, girl, when you're on Drag Race, like people gonna want to sleep with you for like 2 years. But then like it only lasted like a year and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go compete again. Not from my country, but for
yeah, I gotta put myself back out there.
Yes, literally. But how did we get into this conversation?
I was asking when you decided to like go to like the weight loss journey.
Well, I feel like when you're bombarded with so many media and stuff, you as a gay man, when you don't fit with what's on the media, you feel somewhat that you're not acceptable or worthy of love. And so it was a very dark place where I was like, in order for me to not be bullied or not, you know, to be who I am, I have to change a big part of myself. So that transgressed into bulimia, which was crazy because it became like the moment that I stopped doing it was because I ate something and I just immediately threw up without forcing myself to do so. And I was like, I'm gonna die. So that was something that I had to learn to learn the way to eat again. So my relationship to eating I had to learn how to eat again like a baby. Yeah.
Like overcoming like eating disorders, like drug addictions, like a lot of like the lifestyle choices that you had to like change.
Yeah.
Did all that happen in a short period of time or was it very gradual over like many years?
Well, I think like bulimia, I would say was around 16. The drug addiction, well, I wouldn't call it, I mean, I was doing it every day, so I guess it might be a different one. It's probably like when I was 29.
Oh, so these were like kind of phases in your life.
Phases.
That you were going through.
Maybe I just have like, have to admit after such a long time that maybe I do have a destructive, parts of me that is sabotaging myself. And I had to own up to that. And it was like, oh, I'm doing that again. I have to stop. And so it's a constant checking in of myself. And it's like, can I live in my most healthy self? Can I live in my most loving myself self?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, bitch, you got me so deep. I don't know.
I was trying to get to know you a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what phase are you going through now, would you say?
Oh, I'm going through a spiritual douche currently. I'm going through something where every single thing that I do is in order to make me better as a person. And it sounds so like foo-foo, but like for me at this point, everything I eat is like clean. I make sure I'm very healthy. It's just because in order for me to have a future that I want at this point, I need to be my best self in a way.
With that, you're also a businesswoman and you opened up your own venue, the House of Heels.
Yes.
Was that also part of your spiritual douche and like putting good vibes in the world and creating like a place of like positivity for others? Why did you feel it was important for you to open up a venue yourself? Because
there's a lot of great artists in the world, but not enough stages. And I also believe that there's so many amazing, talented, performers in Thailand, not just drag queens, but like singers as well, or sometimes comedians come through, but there's not like a stage that uplifts us. Like, the Drag Race live stage is what uplifts the performers. Like there's like dancers, there's everything, but like, y'all know, with enough people, like when we do different bookings, sometimes the straight clubs just wanna get the pink dollar and the Wi-Fi doesn't fucking work. And when you turn on the music, it skips 5 times and the lighting, there's no lighting and you use a torch to light the queens and there's no stage, which is fine. But for me, I wanted to create a place where drag queens are revered and their art can be appreciated. Fuck, have lighting that's not green. We don't want to look like Shrek all the time.
You know what? That's a great point. Why do they have the colored lights? You put all this time in makeup. You're so right. You're so right. I didn't even think about the colored lights. That's something that always bothers me. I'm like, why do you have a red spotlight on me right now? I digress.
No, it's so true. Like, it doesn't take a lot. Come on, everyone, we know, like pink, purples, light blues, not too much blue, or we look like the Avatar.
Yeah, like a lot of like Thai venues, they don't really support the artists as well. But someone that does support you is your parents. You're very supportive of like your drag and like your art in general. Were they very supportive whenever you first started though?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Fuck no. My mom didn't see me in drag the first 2 years. She would walk out.
Oh no.
I used to have a problem with that. But like for me, my love for what I do just triumphs what other people thinks. And so I didn't give a shit. I was making my money. I'm not asking her for money. I'm not asking her for anything. So I felt like the first 2 years she wouldn't get it until all her friends was like, your son's kind of amazing. And then she's like, okay, maybe she's doing something right. So it's funny how parents change their minds after everyone else does, even though you've been telling them for a while.
Yeah. They need a little longer, a little more time in the oven.
They do.
Yeah.
My father has always been accepting. He's like driven me to like shows and stuff and, evening gowns. And he's just been the most supportive love bear person.
Yeah, well, he even like went as far as like to let you put him in drag.
Yes.
Him and your grandmother.
Yes. He didn't want to do it in the beginning. And I tell him like, listen, this is for the greater good of the world, because then people will see that love has nothing to do with gender, and like drag has nothing to do with gender, and like it's basically.
Why are you putting me like that?
Well, give it to me straight. So I think him as a heterosexual man putting on makeup doesn't take away from the fact that he loves his son. He wants to support his son, and being in that, he understands what it's like to go through what we do all the time. And I think it's so beautiful. It went viral. And so many families, even conservative families, are telling me, I love my kid more because of this. I understand my kid more because of this. And my dad was, he'll never do it again. He told me, because he said it was so fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's something that really changed the relationship between us. Because we, instead of, in especially Asian societies, we have this thing where we put our parents on a pedestal and they're not the individual. So they get the title of the father or the mother, but you don't get to know the person because they're this elusive, untouchable, respectable entity.
Almost like more of like an authority figure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after that, we became like buddies and we were friends, and
It's like that moment kind of broke down that barrier between you.
for sure. Definitely.
Were they more accepting of your drag or your sexuality? What was the harder pill for them to swallow?
Oh, definitely the drag thing.
What was
Because
it?
my mom literally was like, please don't cut your off when I started doing drag. Seriously, she said that. And I was just like, but I mean, I love my I mean, I'm fond of it on a good day. Some days, I mean, it's not my favorite thing.
People on Tinder aren't, but you are.
I know, at least I have one fan.
Yeah.
And it's me, and it's fine. But, you know, I literally, you see, now that we talk about my I don't remember anything else. What were we talking about? Oh, my parents. Great!
Yeah.
So it's two train of thoughts to not be in one sentence.
Yeah. But your mom was saying like, oh, don't cut off your
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that just goes to show that she doesn't know what drag is, you know? And she thinks that I was becoming a trans person, but that's not the case with me. Yeah.
That's been a common thing. A lot of people that I've talked to where their parents, whenever they told them that they came out as gay, that was one thing. But when they said they want to do drag, they all assumed their child wanted to become a woman. So I think, like you said, there is that misunderstanding about drag and like what it means for people. And it's not just about gender or sexuality. Like there's so many more levels.
How was
to
that for
it.
you?
Huh?
How was that for you?
It was it's still a learning experience, like for my family as well. Oh, we're interviewing me now, but
I just want to know. I can't ask questions?
oh my god,
Jesus.
don't get so hostile. Jesus. No, it's a learning experience because you know it's just trying to explain to people the difference between it. Because my parents, they assumed that, you know, drag only is gay people, and even a lot of people when I was cast, they assume straight people don't do drag. But some of the most famous people in drag prior to me, like, were straight people.
Tell the audience.
Tell them
Educate the kids.
Oh,
who
that's
these people are.
That's a whole nother segment. If you
Okay.
go watch the video with James Mansfield near the end, we have some trivia. And James is very
Awesome.
knowledgeable in drag history, but a conversation for another day.
Oh, well, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, it's about you. We're talking
Okay.
about you now. But like growing up, whenever you were like really in, like you were kind of exploring yourself, learning more about yourself. At what point did you develop your obsession with Lady Gaga?
Oh, Jesus. I mean, if you don't like Lady Gaga, then you don't have good taste. Since the beginning, like the first music video to every single thing she puts out, there is something where I know that my religion is Gaga-ism. Like everything about her is just transcendental, like I would say, because I've seen the way she puts on these amazing elaborate costumes, and all her dancers, a lot of her dancers are, you know, queer. And what I see is that she's a celebration of everything that I love. And so for me to be able to mimic her, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
One of your earliest performances in drag was as Gaga, which you won a look-alike contest to get flown out to New York. How bad were the other contestants, considering this is what won? Like, how bad?
Oh my God, I almost threw up looking at myself. I think I look pretty horrifying. This looks, oh my God, Jesus Christ. To answer your fucking question, bitch, that was only 4 contestants.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. This is so sad. Oh my God. Where did you get this?
I dig through the archives.
This is atrocious. Kind of looks like the outfit you have on right now, but
yeah, I still have the link to the video if you need a.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing
but
that.
Yeah,
Click here.
Because that wasn't even the worst look of the video.
Shut up!
There was something, where you're on the treadmill and like the little outfit.
Hey, it's camp.
It was camp.
It was fun.
I liked it.
It was so random.
Yeah.
At least I won.
I think honestly my favorite though is like you're in the dark room, you use a single flashlight, and you're giving yourself your own like.
I was feeling it, bitch.
Yeah, you were so into it.
I was so into it. I thought the video was so great. I edited on fucking iPlayer and everything, and it was so great because I won, and then I got to fly to New York. And
did you get to meet Gaga or just go to her show?
No, we went to her show. Our tickets were shit. It was like all the way in the back, but halfway through, I was screaming out so loud throughout the entire thing. I passed out of exhaustion, so I only watched half the concert.
Oh no. You came so far, but
Yeah.
but you do have an obsession with Gaga, and
I
it
do.
wasn't just that you, as you were talking about before, like Gagaism.
Mm-hmm.
How did you word that?
Oh, like I had like an art exhibition called Gagasmicism.
Gagasmicism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you made like deity statues of Lady Gaga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they sold really well.
Oh, you sold them.
Yeah, oh, fuck yeah. I mean, you're
Oh.
monetizing your way, I'm monetizing my way.
Yeah.
So back in the day, because I went to school in UCLA,
Mm-hmm.
my biggest dream was to have my work showcased in a museum. So I had my first show called Gagasmicism in this gallery, and I basically mixed what Asian cultures and the beliefs and the spirituality of all of it with my love for Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as you said, you went to UCLA, and you said before in interviews that you weren't the best at school. You placed like 53rd out of 56 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of UCLA, you applied for other colleges, and you got
Yeah.
accepted to University of Boston for marine biology.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And you decided not to go. Why not go to marine? Obviously, you love art, but why not go down that path for like marine biology?
Well, I heard that you have to spend like your life on a boat, and I like and so I was like, if I'm gonna be on a boat for 2 years, like that doesn't sound fun, because like you can't a fish. Like I just was like, UCLA is their art program is like one of the best in the country, and also LA. My aunt is also there. It was insane. I love her. And also, you know, with Boston, it's cold sometimes, even though I love Boston. So I was like, UCLA it is.
UCLA is like a hard college to get into, because I think the year you were in there, you were one of only 2 applicants from Thailand to be accepted into it.
Yes.
So, like, what was that like? What was the application process like? Did you even think you would get a call back from that university?
Okay, girl. Okay. Asian people, we know this. A lot of the times when we apply to colleges, it's not one. I applied to 21 different colleges in America and the UK. Because it's like, for a lot of us back home, it's the stature of getting into a university. It's so important to get a university that's, you know, like well-known or gets a good program to build your future, blah, 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 right? So I think I got into UCSD, USC, UCLA, Boston. Those were the memorable ones. Yeah. One thing I'm really grateful for is the American way of education teaches you how to think for yourself, and you question everything.
Yeah. Whereas like Thai schools is more about like technique.
Yes, and well, it's technique and also remembering stuff. Not always, but generally. And now it's changing as well. But for sure, I was like, oh my God, you can even like talk back to the teacher here? You can even question the teacher here? Like that's never allowed in school back at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one thing you like to do is talk back to people. And you actually had a scary incident one time with a guest at one of your shows. You insulted him, and he was waiting for you after the show with 2 friends and a gun.
It wasn't his friend, it was a hitman.
Oh, a hitman,
yeah,
okay.
It was 2 hitmen.
You know, so buddies, you know.
Yeah.
Working buddies.
That was just one of the few times.
How scary was that experience? And then we'll talk about some of the other times. I'm curious.
It wasn't scary. It was like fabulous. I was like, oh my God, I'm famous. I gotta go to the police station the next day in like a scarf and like sunglasses and like file a police report. And I was like, officer, help me. Like obviously, you know, people get too upset over things, and I'm really inspired by like insult comedians, you know. I love, you know, Margaret Cho, Kathy Griffin, obviously Bianca Del Rio, and watching that, I make my own material, and I love being on the mic. Like if you give me a mic back in the day, I can like go for hours and just read people. But what's different, because I feel like sometimes the audience is not ready for it. And so I said to someone, I was like, where are you from? And literally he said something, and I was like, I don't know where that is. That's it. Like it wasn't even that funny, but he got so offended for wherever he's from, where people don't have a sense of humor. And he just went out, got 2 hitmen, and asked me to like, made sure that I apologized, and I didn't. And so I just had to file a police report. That was the first time. Yeah, I got into trouble quite a lot. So much respect to people who go out on a daily basis and just host, because it's not the easiest thing to do. And Why does it seem like I just suck on a that's just not been washed? I think I'm okay now. Okay, sorry.
I'm glad I got you the water. Do you need more water?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Okay.
you're pounding that water. Oh.
At least there's some pounding going on in my life.
That's the only pounding. But what other like scary instances have you had like doing drag, like with audience members or otherwise?
I've had people pull me out from the stage before in a country I won't name because they were not used to seeing drag. I photographed with a crocodile once, and then the crocodile like turned and I jumped. It was scary. I had a photo shoot with a crocodile. I mean, that was pretty scary.
Were any of these instances scarier than the time that you accidentally swallowed a coin?
Oh, fuck you, bitch. I thought I was gonna die. Like I was gonna suffocate.
You went to the ER.
I did.
Yeah.
So in Thai culture, like if you swallow a coin, if you put a coin on like in your mouth, it means you're a ghost. And I was trying to do that bit, like it was funny. But when you're doing it and you're lip syncing, you don't know what's gonna happen. And that bitch,
You almost became a ghost.
I almost became Casper. Like it went in through my throat and then it stuck there for a while. And then I remembered that I don't have a gag reflex. And so it went down and then I couldn't find it. Went to the ER, the doctor was like, wait for the clink. And the clink never came. So maybe the coin is still in me, but I don't know.
You're just a walking piggy bank.
I mean, one coin is not a piggy bank, is it?
I mean, it still counts. Some piggy banks are empty, but...
Sure. Like mine. Yeah.
You really grew like a reputation for yourself and eventually got cast for a tea battle before Drag Race Thailand, which is the competition you won. What was that experience like that competition?
It was intense. But the crazy thing with that show is that the house that we lived in was haunted. But not only that the house was haunted, I broke my leg on the day before I entered the competition. I think the clip is still online somewhere. And so I had to relearn how to walk in the show. Yeah.
But like, even like you broke your leg, you still won a lip sync in a wheelchair. Do you think, had you not had gone through the competition, you said, oh, I broke my leg, I need to go home. Had you have done that, do you think that you would be where you are today?
I don't know. I just know there's one thing that I remember saying to myself. And it was, my body might be broken, but you can't break my spirit. And at that moment, I was like, this is my big break. I'm known as a dancer. I'm known as, like, I know I can do this. And so when that broke down, I kind of got like a full-on mental breakdown because it was like the thing that I'm the most proud of, it's gone.
Can't do.
Who are you now? And so like the girls in the show had to take me to the bathroom. That's why I became so close to them. And
it's hard to whack from a wheelchair.
Yes, but every single week I made sure like I put accessories or flowers on that wheelchair to make sure the show is incorporated to the wheelchair. They would put me on like I was basically like a seal. Like they would just put me on like things like a rock or anything and I would just have to lip sync. It was so crazy.
But despite that, you went on to win the competition itself, like the whole kit and caboodle. With that, do you think that was a big reason why you were cast as one of the co-hosts for Drag Race Thailand when it came around?
I don't know if the people who wanted me to do Drag Race Thailand actually watched that show. I think I was making a name for myself in the circuit world, in the Bangkok scene as like the drag queen who, you know, was hosting and speaking in English and just like doing shows almost everywhere. So I think I was making a name for myself already. And so that's why they approached me, I would say. Yeah.
So they just approached you, they called you, they said, hey, we're going to be doing Drag Race in Thailand.
Yeah.
Like, how exciting was that phone call?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like full on diarrhea. I was so excited that it was gonna happen and then they went quiet.
Whenever they called you, did they immediately say, we want you to be the co-host? Or did you think you were getting a call as a contestant?
No, they called me and they originally, oh God, I'm gonna get into trouble, but it's fine, it's years ago. They called me and they were like, we want you to be the main host, just one. Yeah. So that's an interesting tidbit that I haven't really shared. So that they were like, yeah, we want you to be the host, just you, and you know, it'll be great. And so the first day that I showed up to do the poster for the photo shoot, my other co-host, Art Arya, was there. And I was like, what's going on? You could have told me from the beginning that we had 2 hoes, I'll be completely fucking fine. I was so angry. I hated Art Arya in the beginning. But now, knowing what we went through for 2 seasons, I could not have done it if she wasn't there. She taught me about fashion, about what behind the scenes. She's become one of the people in my life that I love the most. Like, she is an unconditional lover, giver, teacher, sister, and I'm so thankful that I got to do that with her. Because, and I told her, I'm like, bitch, in the first time when I met you, I hated your face. But it's so crazy how that changes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very different from someone like Brooklyn Heights, for example, where she became like a judge on the show, but she seemed very like kind and soft-handed with a lot of the contestants, where you weren't afraid to let your opinions be known.
The thing is, I feel like I am a drag queen, like them. What I say, it's my perspective of what can make you better, or what can make you excel in this competition.
It wasn't malicious.
It wasn't malicious. It's coming out of a place of love, but it depends on your level of whether you're able to take it or not. And all my teachers in my life have always been hard asses, but it pays off. So that's why I feel like I want to give them that approach. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you were like hitting the contestants with wooden spoons.
Shut up. That's my childhood, not what I did on the show.
You channeled your mother into the competition.
Where's the bamboo?
Like on the show, you did see like a lot.
You never got hit?
Huh?
You never got hit?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I mean, only the first like few years, like up until like 5 or 6, because then I was like perfect child. Never got detention. Never got in trouble.
Okay.
I was that kid that was always worried about what people thought of me and wanted to be a perfect child.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't. But
yeah.
What kind of instruments were used? Just out of curiosity.
Mostly just like belts, a Switch, you know what Switch is?
A Nintendo Switch?
No. We were too poor for that.
What's a Switch?
You got beat with an Atari, maybe. No, it's whenever you go out, you go outside and you get a very thin branch from the tree.
Oh,
you
yeah,
take the
we do
leaves
that
out,
too.
Like,
yeah,
Switch.
I think one time my favorite punishment, not favorite, but memorable, me and my sister were fighting, so we had to stand on this tiny plank of wood and takes turns slapping each other in the face.
Oh.
Yeah, lovely, right?
No
joke.
So if you ever have to go to Dracula, you are ready.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm prepped.
Yeah. My cousin's got worse stuff, like extension cords and...
Oh, damn. Like a whip.
Yeah, basically. Basically. Yeah, you know.
Happy memories.
I was good. Yeah. Memories. Memories. Oh, to be young again.
Oh, no. I'm okay.
But like on the show, you saw a lot of like crazy stuff. Like Drag Race Thailand, if you guys haven't watched it, has some of the most like amazing, crazy drag you've ever seen. One of the craziest moments was whenever Candy Cyanide set herself on fire, more than she was meant to. But well, as a viewer, it was very exciting. As a judge, it was not so exciting for you.
Horrifying.
You were
horrifying.
You weren't happy about it.
No.
What was your mindset whenever you saw that?
Number one, they had a rule, no fire in the production house. Like you can't play with fire. Number two, when she put gasoline on herself, the paper that was supposed to burn, it's supposed to burn and then it disappeared. But because she sat and waited so long, the gasoline soaked into certain parts of her outfit. And when she spun, and she hit the outfit, it causes more oxygen, so it burned her even more. So in the studio, the fire went up halfway through. Like that's insane. Halfway through the building, the fire went up. And so she went to the ER, she burned parts of her eyebrows off and her nose hairs, thankfully. So it was insane. It was insane. She still plays with fire nowadays, still. And I was like, bitch, you haven't learned anything. You have not learned.
Are you worried, like going into like Drag Race Thailand season 3 coming up, are you worried that other contestants are gonna try to mimic moments like that for spectacle?
Girl, I need people to like fucking understand that in order to do good drag, you don't need to kill yourself. Like you need to not get a concussion, number one. Number two, stop playing with all these crazy shit. Like if you can go up on stage and emote and really perform and know the meaning of the song, Sasha Colby, hello? Like that's even more powerful to me versus, you know, doing a jump split on the wrong beat of a song or, trying to hurt yourself for the sake of the audience's entertainment. Yes, it's great when you do it on beat or when you do it because it has a purpose, but not every song needs a death drop. Not every song needs a jump split.
Yeah, that's why I don't do them. Because I'm just like,
Is that why?
Just don't need it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
sure.
don't need it.
We'll go with it.
I would, but I was like, you know what? Not for this one.
Right.
Maybe the next one.
Yeah, you make sense.
Yeah.
You're wise.
But could you imagine that? Imagine Sasha Colby does everything she does and she sets herself on fire?
True.
Maybe more songs need people set on fire.
Let's not put that out in the universe.
Drag queens are wild.
Yeah.
It's
like make the best
I go
choices.
to a show, one queen jumps from the ceiling into the splits. I do a sock puppet. We get paid the same.
I love it.
It's like, so I don't know. Maybe you chose the wrong path. You know?
Well, do you think your sock puppet can do a split? I think that will be it.
Maybe I'm gonna work it out. I'll figure it out. I could probably just like add a couple little things, like little bleep.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be cool though. Like you pull something and it went like BAM!
Yeah. I set the sock puppet on fire.
Yeah, that too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Send me the
That way if I get burned, it's only one part of me. you know?
Yes.
See? That's why we're different. We're thinkers.
We're thinking. We have
know?
houses.
We have ideas. A house. You have a house?
I don't know.
Okay, well.
One day.
Manifesting.
One day.
Manifesting.
I have a country house.
A country house?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like a house in the countryside. That's
Oh.
like- But like I don't have a house in the city. I have an apartment in the city.
Well, no one has a house in the city here. That's for famous people.
Yeah.
Not for drag queens. It's not for us.
Not for gamest people, for famous people.
Yeah.
Gamest people. Yeah.
Actual celebrities.
Yeah.
People that can't go into Target without getting recognized. Like real
I
celebrities.
tried. No one recognized me.
Like you went there telling everybody who you were.
Yeah. Hi, do I get a discount for this detergent?
But leaving Drag Race Thailand, you end up getting cast for UK versus the World, making you the only contestant for an all-stars-like season that was never a former competitor. Did you feel a pressure because of that?
Oh, fuck yeah! For sure! I was the first Thai queen in history. I'm also the first queen from Southeast Asia to travel from the continent. A lot of people get upset when I say this. I'm like, no, I know there's a lot of Asian queens or even Southeast Asian queens on Drag Race, but not ones that flew from the continent. So imagine, the culture shock. So there was a lot of pressure. Also going from judge to a contestant, if I didn't do well, like, what does that say about me as a judge?
You don't get to go back to season 3.
No way. There will never be a season 3, right? Or they'll pick someone else, maybe Candy Cyanide with her lack of nose hairs. But for me, it was just all of that on top. And I think that's why my breakdown, a lot of people didn't understand that I was crying. I wasn't even angry at Blue, like at all. Like I knew it was a competition. I get it. Like people go home all the time. I send bitches home all the time.
Yeah.
But what I was crying at that point was because of the pressure that I had, representing all of these things. And I felt like I let a lot of people down.
Yeah.
And that's why it was a full-on mental breakdown like that. It just, you feel so much shame, And I think if you've ever had to represent something that was bigger than you and you felt like you couldn't do it or uphold that, there is a lot going in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you were the judge of Drag Race Thailand, like a whole spin-off series.
The first.
And you go to UK versus the World, you only make it to episode 4 because you suck and aren't good at drag.
Bitch, it was only 6 episodes. Shut the fuck up.
But like whenever that moment happened, like how like gut-wrenching was that? Because obviously like you had a very emotional moment that people saw.
Really? I thought it was fine.
Different perspectives.
Yeah.
But like in that moment, like, because you really didn't think that Blue would pick you.
No. I was, if you see on the music, like when she was doing the lip sync, I was cheering her on because I thought she was gonna keep me. But it is what it is. But I didn't thought I was gonna go home because I was doing so well. Like week 1 I won, second week I was top, third week I won again. Like halfway through the competition, like I won half of it already. So there was only like 2 episodes before the finale. And so I didn't think, because no one during the competition was making it feel like I was a threat. It was very sisterly and cool, and people still think that I was very strategic in voting people off, and they can think what they think, but when you're in that moment and your choices that you've made, you kind of know what's behind it, and only you would know it. Like only people who went through that experience would get it. Yeah.
But with the show, I think the most shocking moments of that season was your elimination and when you eliminated Jimbo.
Yes.
With that, had you not eliminated Jimbo, Jimbo could have won it and would not be on the current All-Star season.
I hope she wins as well.
Yeah, at the time of filming this, the finale hasn't happened. She
Yeah.
might win, and she might actually win prize money.
I know.
If you didn't eliminate her, she could have won UK versus the world and won nothing.
She has me to thank now.
So if she wins this, she owes you a piece.
Yeah, give me 20%, bitch.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah,
honestly.
at least. Now I really hope she wins. She's been killing every single week. Like, her fashion is so elevated and surprising and conceptual.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every single week she comes out on the runway, we're like, oh my God. And definitely she improved on that runway, her walk. But everything else, like, she's so funny, and it just goes to show that just because your drag is not the same as something that you like doesn't mean that it's not magical. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like Jimbo's a fucking superstar. Like, what she does, like, it's so out of this world, so kooky, so weird, but every single time you're like, that's Jimbo.
Entertaining. Yeah,
it's entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, but if she doesn't win, then she's gonna have to go back for another All-Stars, and we're gonna have to see that ugly confessional look shirt one more time.
Oh my God, I can't see that shirt
the
anymore.
little flag
like,
one.
Bitch, do your laundry. Every single one.
It's gonna be a little musty at this point.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, at least.
Yeah, but in between filming Drag Race Thailand and UK versus the World, there was a brief period where you were the runway coach for Miss Universe Thailand.
I was.
And a lot of people have probably seen the video of like all the girls walking in unison together. It became a huge viral meme. A lot of people didn't realize you were the one behind the camera.
It was on my fucking iPhone.
You were responsible for that moment. What was your reaction whenever that moment went viral?
I was like, I didn't fucking put my watermark on this. No one knows anything, but like that, it was me. Because everyone keeps resharing it. It's like, on YouTube it's like millions of views, but like on Twitter or something, it's like 17 million. Like, it was insane, but it was just me recording on my phone of teaching the girls to walk to a Beyonce song, Run This World, and the girls were just so good and their hair was just synchronizing and it was a magical moment. But I'm such a pageant queen. Like, I love Miss Universe pageants. Like, for Thai people, like, for the gays, it's our sport. So for
like
me
the Miss
to
Tiffany's pageant.
Yes, that too. Like, all the pageants, we're like pageant country. So for us, like for me to be able to teach the girls, it was so much fun. I bonded with the girls. Some of the girls were crying because I didn't make it. I had to run and just hug them and make sure they were okay. It was a lot, and we became like kind of like a sister, like a little family. Yeah.
But you've created a lot of things. Like I said, putting like art into the world, creating things for people, creating opportunities. What is the next adventure for you? What do you want to accomplish next?
Interesting. Well, Drag Race Live is one of the biggest things I've wanted to do, right? So that's number one. Number two, I want to open another establishment. So
like in Thailand or elsewhere?
I don't know.
You say that like something's in the works.
It always is.
Oh, okay.
I'm always I want to force an early retirement. That's my goal. I feel like I don't know how long I can actually fully perform to the best capacity that I can.
Yeah, because you're almost 40.
Bitch, I'm only 35. Round it back, not round it up. So I take it very seriously in terms of, investing in stuff, becoming a businesswoman. Because, in my mind, you have a company as well, but not a lot of us as drag performers, we put ourselves in the shoes of just being performers, not as business people or as something more than being in one shoe. And once we get out of that, we're like, no, I can be this and this and this as well. That's when you feel like it's limitless. And so for me, I'm not only just a performer, I'm also like a business owner. I'm also someone who's traveling the world. I'm also advocating for things I believe in. And I feel like the world would be so much better if people just don't put each other in just that one box.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that is the last of my cards.
Yay!
That's the end of the interview. Not yay.
Why?
Most people are like, oh, you're like, yay.
Oh,
Wow.
Cut. Oh.
I get humbled right at the end of the interview. But that is the end of the interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, babe.
For coming. And thank you again to Scentbird for sponsoring this episode. Remember to use my code Maddy55 to get 55% off your first order. Links in the description. Where can people find you? What do you have coming up? What would you like to plug?
I would like to, well, my hairline has already been plugged, so it's fine. I fixed it 2 years ago. But follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, on Pangina Heels. I'm on Drag Race Live from July 15th for 3 months. So my last gig is in October the 10th. I'll be here for 3 months doing Drag Race Live, which is a dream. And what else am I plugging? That's it.
Yeah. If you're in Thailand, go to House of Heels.
Oh, fuck! The most important thing, I forgot. Yes! If you're in Thailand, please come to my club, my nightclub. It's not a bar. It's so big. It's called the House of Heels. You know, we have shows, we have performers, the best of the drag that offers in, you know, in what I see, and come be entertained from the girls from Drag Race Thailand and have a good time. It has a pole too.
Yeah, and she wanted to emphasize it's not a bar. It's big. It's a nightclub.
It's a nightclub.
Yeah, it's not dainty.
It's true.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time whenever we have somebody else. And yeah, till then. Bye, guys.
Bye. Why are you making me so shady? I'm usually a nice person.
I'm not making you do anything. You're showing your true colors. Is
Oh,
what's
wow.
happening.
Rebranding. Time for rebranding.
Yeah, no, you're just in your rebrand era, and now you're going back. You're acting like you did in UK versus the world.
Oh,
It's
shut
coming out
up.
again.
I am a sweetheart. People love me for me.